So I have some type of resentment that people are making me deal with because this is not part of my YouTube channel, but it is whatever. It's not my YouTube channel isn't to bash every single company out there, but it is what it's turning into because I lack self-control sometimes, and it is what it is. And so Ross, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I think it was something, yeah, it was 2 weeks ago, because the district manager there was on vacation, and so I was working Saturday, and I felt like I was getting treated unfair because I asked for more hours, and then the lady that was going to cover for me came in early, and I'm just like, whoa, and I talked to her for a little bit, kind of thing like that, because I was like, do you want to switch, do you want to do fitting rooms instead, kind of thing like that. And then and like prior to that, I saw like one or two dudes with like a big huge beard, like super long beard, and I try to like ignore it, I'm just like, it is whatever, and then after that I went back, to where I was supposed to be, and then there was sequencing of dudes with beards, coming in, and there was like groups of them, and I started crying, and I'm just like losing my mind, and I'm just like, I need to take a break, and I radioed. And she was like, oh, and she wasn't being sympathetic. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm bawling. Like, I'm just going to leave for the day, and I went upstairs and I grabbed my shoes because I didn't know if I was going to come back. Like, I really didn't know if I was coming back. I asked to be moved to the fitting back into the back room, I asked, but she didn't answer, I don't know if she just thought this was funny or if she just wanted to, she was just off in her own head, doing her own thing, kind of like that. But I'm just like, I don't know if I can come back. Like, honestly, I really don't know. Like, I might have to move to the back room, kind of thing like that. Especially if I have to see all this, like, no. And so I grabbed my stuff, and I left, and I was like, I need to call HR. And I was like, but it's Saturday. I can't call HR today, it's the weekend, kind of thing like that. I'm like, I'm going to wait until Monday, and then on Monday came around, I had to work before HR office opened, kind of thing like that, because I tried, but like I have to like drive time and stuff like that, like I don't know how to like do it and stuff like that, and so I'm just like, you know what, I messaged her, nothing happened, I called the district manager, and that's how I found out like he was like on vacation and stuff like that. And so like I showed up, and she like pulled me in the office and stuff like that. I think she was like kind of surprised that I showed up, and I like, my thing is like, she was not in her right mind, like at all. Like, I don't know if she got like a talking to or something like that, but I left, that day, and I'm just like, I called HR, and I'm just like, hey, this is what happened, and HR was like kind of confused, they're like, and they're like, we'll look into it, and I'm just like, okay, fantastic, kind of thing like that. And I found out, and then HR finally, I left a couple more voicemails with the district manager. He still hasn't like messaged me, like contact me or anything like that. And then so HR finally reached out to me, and apparently it's just because I talk about boyfriends, and I'm just like, I think it's because she really wants to marry my other dude, like marry my boss at my other job. Like, I really think that's what it is, kind of thing like that. But like, so, but the thing is, like, it looks bad upon her if that's really why she terminated me, but is so she can, and like, my thing is, she kind of needs me to bring him into the store, like, I think they've been like talking for a long while, but still, like, she kind of needs me to, get what she wants, kind of thing like that. So I don't know. And so, but like, my thing is like, either way, like, I've been like thinking about somewhat like leaving for a while, but like right now, like today, I saw like a whole bunch of like trucks hauling like trailers with like stuff on it, and like it's like that, and so like today, I think I would even like, I would just call in, just because like I'm gonna go to the store and I'm gonna have the same like panic attack over the same stuff, and like, obviously my boss doesn't care, she thinks it's a joke, or she thinks it's funny and stuff like that. So either way, I would still end up quitting, just because like, they don't want to take care of their employees. So, yeah, I think today is going to be a home day. Just saying.